Good morning, all of you. So we have to do today the demerits. Yesterday I have given you people the reduced syllabus, and we need to follow strictly the reduced syllabus. Is it clear? So line and staff organization is in your syllabus, okay? But you know what happened is that in the syllabus it's written only line and staff organization. So we need to study everything about line and staff organization. So what you need to do is that the reduced syllabus which I have sent yesterday, you people have to take out the printout of that and keep it with you. Is it clear? So that you will study according to the syllabus which is mentioned in that. Okay, no need to study something extra. Okay, so today let me complete the demerits of line and staff organization. So I told you the line organization are actually belonging to the management, okay, the executives, okay, but staff organization means those employees who are specialized, okay, and who can perform who help the members of the line organization to fulfill their you can say managerial goals or managerial objective. Is it clear? So line organization basically talks about line executive. Staff organization basically talks about specialist, because they are specialized in their work. Okay, so merits also we have studied that it followed a planned specialization. Then there is a balanced decision between both, somebody who take a decision and somebody who actually perform the actual duty because they are specialized in their work in the particular organization. Okay, then a proper discipline is followed, then undivided responsibility, then flexibility, then executive development. Many things we people have studied as one of the merits of the line and staff organization. But demerits, you see, the first demerit which occur, there is always a conflict between a situation of the conflict is always created between the member of the line organization and the member of the staff organization. Always. That is the first disadvantage of the line and staff organization. Now see, there is generally a conflict kind of the situation is created between the executive of the line organization and between the specialist of the staff organization. Okay, staff organization are the staff, they are being appointed because they are specialized to perform a particular duty, to perform a particular function. Okay, so they think themselves superior because they are specialized. On the other hand, the executives, those who are in the higher post, okay, they also think themselves that they are superior. So a kind of a conflict situation may occur between both the group, that is between the executive of the line organization and between the specialist of the staff organization. That is the first demerit. So how much you people have to underline, there is generally a conflict between line executive and staff specialist. There is a danger that staff may encroach upon line authority and line may ignore staff advice. This is the most important line. There is always a danger of what? As I told you, that the members of the staff organization are specialized. Okay, so there is always the chances that staff may the staff may not listen to the authority, to the executive of the line, or because they think they are superior. Why they need to follow them? Because they are specialized in their work. So why should they will follow the order? So they may encroach, means they may not follow the line with a line authority. They may not follow the line authority, means the line executive. Or on the other hand, the line executive may ignore, all right, the advice given by the staff specialist. So this situation may, only till here you people have to write under the first point, that is conflict. Then second one is lack of coordination. If there is a conflict, obviously there will be a lack of coordination is there. Okay, so under this you see, in practice it is very difficult to make a clear-cut allocation of duties between line and staff organization. Yes, proper allocation means proper distribution of duty. Clear-cut allocation of duty means proper distribution of duties between line executive and staff executive becomes very difficult, which may create the lack of coordination problem in the organization. Is it clear? Then only till here you people will write, that is more than enough. That in practice it is very difficult to make a clear-cut allocation of duties between line and staff organization till here. Then third disadvantage, ineffective staff. Staff men may not perform their job well because they are not accountable for the result. Is it who is accountable for the result? The line executive. They are accountable. That's why they appoint the staff specialist. So the staff specialist may not perform their duties properly or may ignore their duties properly because they are not accountable for the result. Who is accountable for the result? Line executive. Staff organization is specialized. That's why they are appointed. They do the work. They think that, okay, fine, we are doing work or not doing work, it's hardly going to affect us because we are not answerable. Who is answerable? The line executive. So the third disadvantage is staff man may not perform their job well because they are not accountable for the result. Then staff may be ineffective because it lacks authority to get its advice implemented. Till here, yes? We have studied in the first disadvantage that line executive may not, you can say follow or may not accept the advice given by the staff specialist. So due to this reason, staff may become ineffective. Why they may become ineffective? Because the line executive may lack in accepting the advice given by the staff specialist. Is it clear? So till here you people have to write. Then expensive, obviously line and staff structure is more expensive than line organization, obviously, because line organization is top to bottom in a line in a vertical axis and one has to follow the command of the other. All right, so there is no several dimension under the line organization. So if you compare line organization and line and staff organization, the line and staff organization is more expensive as compared to line organization. Okay, then last, lack of creativity. Okay, because line managers may depend too much on staff. Yes, those who are the line managers, because they are not specialized, they are generalist. Okay, so there is always a chances that their creativity somewhere will be a loss for the organizer because they will not show their creativity. Why they will show their creativity? Because already they have appointed the staff specialist. So that creativity work is done by the staff organization, done by the staff specialist. So it is a lack of creativity from whose side? The line authority or the line executive. So these are the disadvantages of the line and staff organization. That is, conflict chances may be created between the line executive and staff specialist. There may be a possibility of lack of coordination, okay, in this case. Then the staff specialist may become ineffective because the line authority may ignore the advice given by the staff specialist. Then third point, it is expensive. What is expensive? The line and staff organization is expensive as compared to line organization, and loss of creativity or lack of creativity from the side of the line executive because they may not do any kind of the creative work because they have already hired a specialist. Is it clear? So these are the disadvantages of the line and staff organization. Now we need to start with the two main types of the organizational structure. We have done organizational structure. Under organizational structure we have studied about line organization and line and staff organization. Now we are studying about the division of organization structure. There are two divisions of the organization. There are two types of organization structure. One is functional structure, one is divisional structure. Okay, now to understand functional structure, you need to understand that on the basis of function, different departments are created. On the basis of different functions of the organization. जितने भी organization के functions होते हैं, on the basis of वो सारे functions के basis पे different departments create करते हैं. उन departments को कहते हैं functional structure. अब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में होता क्या है, प्रोडक्शन ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट, ऑफ अ कमोडिटी। अब उस प्रोडक्ट को प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए कितने तरीके के रॉ मटेरियल चाहिए, सपोज आपको मेटल चाहिए, हाँ, सपोज आपको प्लास्टिक चाहिए, ऑलराइट, सपोज आपको केमिकल्स चाहिए, ओके, सपोज आपको मशीन्स चाहिए। सो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द इनपुट दैट इज नीडेड टू प्रोड्यूस अ प्रोडक्ट, देयर इज अ डिवीजन इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, उसको कहते हैं डिविजनल स्ट्रक्चर। ओके, if they need a chemical, so they will divide one division called chemical division. Suppose they need a machine, so they will divide one division as the machine division. Suppose they need you can say steel, so for steel they will make one division, that is steel division. So that is called divisional structure. Divisional structure, this division is done on the basis of the requirement of the product to be produced. And functional structure means that there are various functions of the organization, and the structure, the organizational structure is divided into different departments on the basis of those different functions of the organization, then it is called functional structure. Is it clear? In detail, I'll tell you tomorrow. Today, what you people have to do, that in page number 199, one chart is given which shows the functional structure. And in page number 200, one chart is given which shows the divisional structure. So now in your syllabus, only the meaning of functional and division structure is there. Advantage, disadvantage is not there, children. Okay, so we will do only the meaning of functional structure and meaning of divisional structure. No advantage and disadvantage. Okay, for today this much. Tomorrow I am going to explain you about this functional and divisional structure, which is a type of organizational structure. Thank you, children.